as Arsenal fans are excited and are calm after smashing Crystal Palace 5-0 but are worried about the transfer window getting closer to the deadline of January window. So today we will get an important updates on Arsenal's latest transfer plan as we reveal the news regarding Karim Benzema, the report on the return of Jorginho Timber, and get the latest news on the midfield transfer plan you need to know. Follow me as I get into the updates.
Controlled by declanrice.
Welcome back to Arsblog Podcast. I hope you guys are doing great and enjoying yourself as I get you Arsenal latest news, but going into our updates. If you are new, please you can just subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you don't want to miss out on any of our Arsenal updates, and also click the like button if you've been enjoying our videos. Thank you. As we start off with Arsenal important returns, Arsenal's summer signing Jorginho Timber had so much hope going into the season after a standout performance against Man City in the Community Shield, but hearts were broken in the first Premier League game of the season as Jorginho Timber went down holding his knee. He was sub-off in the second half against Nottingham Forest, but as we speak things are about to get exciting as Sami Mokbel confirm. There is optimism long-term absentee Jorginho Timber can return to full training next month. Timber is making excellent progress and could return to the main group for training at London Colney by the end of February provided there aren't any late setbacks. But according to the terms of Mikel Arteta news regarding the return of Timber in his press conference ahead of the game against Palace, saying there is a possibility but at the moment he is still very far from competing. That's the reality of it. We're hopeful that he can have an impact at the end of the season if everything goes well, and it looks like there is a chance that might happen, but I think it's too early to make that call. I wouldn't take Mikel's quote too serious because this guy has got a known history of being a bit of a liar when it comes to injuries with the likes of Jesus, Saka and co, which may be down to him trying to hide it from other teams. And do you know what? There is a reason for Arsenal fans to be excited though. Not only is he versatile, able to play as a right back, left back and also center back, but we can see in his game against the likes of Man City in the Community Shield where he had 7.0 rating, 2 clearance, 1 block shot, 2 interceptions and 1 tackle. He was able to hold back very top wide forwards where Arsenal struggle with Zinchenko. Timber will help Arsenal stop that, which is perfectly summed up in his performance against Man City. But there are some reports claiming that Timber could return to as soon as Champions League game against Porto in February. With this update concerning Timber, Arsenal fans should be expecting Timber's return at the end of February. Not what exactly is happening with Declanrice. He was taken off against Crystal Palace. As reported, it was an hamstring injury, but not as serious, being confirmed by Mikel Arteta at the of the match, and as report claimed by Sami Mokbel, Declanrice is expected to be available for the visit to Nottingham Forest next week. Early indications were that Rice was suffering from muscle tightness, and there is now growing confidence he has not suffered any damage. As Rice continues an insane injury record of only having 1 injury since 2019, and it comes to him when Arteta was looking for the version of Rodri. He is an Iron Man in that midfield in terms of his fitness, and it could even get better as a certain Thomas Partey aiming a return. According to my last update in my last video on the injury, you can click the link showing at the top of the screen to check our update on his return after watching this video. I don't expect him to start straight away, but once he is fully fit, there will be a massive dilemma of the midfield trio of Partey, Rice and Odegaard. And do you think Thomas Partey goes straight into the team as a number 6, allowing Declanrice to play further forward as a left side number 8? But when you think about the fact that Arsenal have played Man City twice this season and won both, it's not coincidence that Partey and Rice both played in those games, and Partey will not be going for international duties as confirmed. Ghana are out of the Africa Cup of Nations. Talking about the midfield, as we talk about Real Sociedad, Martin Zubimendi has reported he is very close to accepting Arsenal's transfer offer next summer. But after a report in Spain claiming the midfielder has picked Arsenal and has bid farewell to the La Liga side, and being confirmed by David Ornstein that Arsenal tried to make an offer last summer, and also reported back in December last year by David Ornstein that Arsenal explored a potential deal for Martin Zubimendi a year ago, and interest in the Spaniard remains strong. Several factors would have to combine for a move to happen. He's always found it hard to leave his home club, and Arsenal are not giving up on him. Why? This is because of his amazing profile. He can play as a number 6 and as a left number 8. Who scored shows that Mendy has won possession more time in the midfield third than any other player since the start of the 2020-23 La Liga season. According to Kaya Kayanak, Real Sociedad would be open to selling Martin Zubimendi, who has a £53 million release clause. Arsenal, meanwhile, have a good relationship with the Spanish team. A deal this month is highly unlikely to happen. Zubimendi keen to stay for now. But for now, Arsenal will have their options open though, and focusing in the Premier League. There may be a player at Aston Villa. According to Peter Rogge, Arsenal are still pushing hard for Douglas Luiz behind in the scenes and have had numerous bits of his services rejected in recent windows, having 9 goals contributions this season. His heat map all over the midfield shows he can excel both as a number 6 and 8. Luiz remains on fire for Aston Villa, with Emery team fighting for a place in Europe. There's no chance to let him go in January, but a summer window is going to be so interesting. With interest in Zubimendi too, it will be a lot of target for the Gunners. Let's not forget the attacking midfield. Let's go to the Bundesliga. According to Hitsy Football, Arsenal scouts were in attendance for Bayer Leverkusen's last gasp win away to RB Leipzig this weekend, watching a quartet of players with Xavisimons, Lois Openda, Jeremy Frimpong and Ezequiel Palacios all on the club's radar. A name of Xavisimons is very intriguing, a player that Arsenal have targeted in the past during his time at PSV but went to sign back to PSG, who had a buyback clause, who loaned him straight out to Leipzig. As report claim, Arsenal are in the picture to sign PSG youngster Xavisimons in the summer if his loan deal at RB Leipzig is not extended. Leipzig would like Simons' loan to be extended into 2025, but PSG don't want to make a decision on him yet. Top clubs' interest, like Arsenal, make it an interesting race. Arsenal have many profiles in their midfield, but one we lack is someone a bit like Phil Foden in that midfield, able to collect the ball, turn and drive. Simons already have 5 goals and 7 assists in the Bundesliga this season. His recent performance against Frankfurt sums them up as a player. Despite getting no goals and assists, he's got an 8.7 rating, making 88 touches, 35 accurate passes, 4 key passes, 1 big chance created alongside 8 out of 11 successful dribbles and 16 out of 21 ground duels. Simons would offer Arsenal a versatile attack of midfielder, but will the likes of Smith Rowe be giving chances, as his profile is unique, as we've discussed his future update in our last video, as there is no update on his future of recent. I've dropped a link of video on his future in the description. You can go and watch to know about his future. Moving on to the Arsenal late transfer move. We saw Mikel Arteta made a surprise move going into the season, replacing Aaron Ramsdale with David Raya, signed on a loan deal that was not a permanent, but report confirms the deal was going to be permanent at the beginning, but he had to change the structure of the deal because of FFP. The deal will now be made permanent, and it will be soon. From what he's heard, it's already agreed, so I don't know when, but they will soon make it official. With 6 clean sheets this season, his last performance was definitely one of his best in an Arsenal shirt, a 7.6 rating alongside 5 saves and a 0.6 to goals prevented. Raya completed 20 accurate passes alongside 2 accurate long balls. There's still many Arsenal fans not convinced and are confused. With Ramsdale having a fine season last year, who was named the PFA goalkeeper this season. So what do you think makes Raya Mikel's new number 1? The answer for me is in the game against Crystal Palace. Focus on this example here. Have Raya on the ball despite being a goalkeeper. Notice how wide he is of his goal, playing almost as a left center back in the build-up phase. Then compare that to Ramsdale last season against the same Crystal Palace. In a similar scenario, Ramsdale remains in the center of his goal, forcing our defense to drop back and allow by pressure on them by Crystal Palace press. Raya was an extra man in the build-up phase and also give the defense calmness by always playing with his foot. Let's talk about our left back Nuno Tavares. Arsenal have a bit of a left back dilemma, as Nuno is struggling in Nottingham Forest, making only 2 starts this season. as report confirms that Olympique Marseille are trying to sign Nuno Tavares as a new left back, with Arsenal 100% open to selling Nuno to Marseille on a permanent transfer, but the deal depends on Nottingham Forest, as they insist they want to keep Nuno until June and there is no recall clause. But it is said that Arsenal will be looking for an opportunities for a full-back this transfer window, as report confirm Arsenal will be looking at full-back in the market because they want to do something in that position. Moving to Championship, let's talk about Southampton right-back Walker Peters. According to Team Talk, source have stated Walker Peters is named, 26 years of age, in the peak of his power with his recent performance against Sheffield Wednesday. He was standout with a 8.3 rating, along 3 interceptions and 2 tackles, 8 out of 13 ground duels with 66 accurate pass. And do you know why Arteta has mentioned his name? As we can see, the players Mikel has been signing are players who can play a multiple positions and can give many options. Walker Peters is also versatile despite being mainly a right-footed right back. We can see in his heat map last season in the Premier League, it shows he also played quite a few games as a left back. And what is going on with a certain Karim Benzema, who was confirmed unhappy in Saudi Arabia and confirmed by Ben Jacob? Karim Benzema has now asked Al Ittihad if he can explore a loan, but the Saudi champions still want to keep him. Major reluctance for a mid-season exit from senior PIF and Ministry of Sport figures. Benzema's late arrival back to mid-season training didn't go down well, and if anything has hardened club stance on entertaining any departure. John Textor is keen on Benzema returning to Lyon, but it's not possible without a substantial pay cut and Saudi dealmakers changing their position. Ittihad will not entertain paying any wages if they do eventually sanction an exit, but also confirmed by Ben Jacob, told not too much substance as of right now to many of the Premier League links. Ittihad denied direct talks with any club. Arsenal never made contact. Man United sources downplay interest. No doubt Benzema is looking at options and being offered about in case Ittihad softened their position, but an exit remains difficult. Moving on to the other Arsenal news today, but before jumping there, if you are new watching this video, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell if you don't want to miss out on our next updates. And if you enjoy this video, please click the like button as we jump into the other news. Let's talk about zirkzee Milinkovicsavic in Saudi side Al Hilal, as report claim that Arsenal along with Juventus are interested in zirkzee Milinkovicsavic. If you can remember, before his move to Al Hilal, Arsenal were linked with the player several times. He's a player that can play as a number 8 and a number 10, having 9 goals and 8 assists with Lazio in 20-23 season before his move to the Saudi side. But there is also a player in Boca Junior, Ezequiel Fernandez, as report claim Arsenal are keeping a close watch on Boca Juniors midfielder Ezequiel Fernandez's performances, as Arsenal are exploring a new striker target as they look into Italy. Bologna's Joshua Zirkzee, as reported back in December, Bologna gem Joshua Zirkzee has €40 million release clause into current deal. Bayern can get him for 50% of this fee as buyback clause negotiated when Zirkzee was sold to Bologna. Bayern also have 50% sell-on clause in case Zirkzee joins another club, but report claim the release clause is only valid for Bayern, and in January our top players will not move. How many phone calls have we received? None. And we wouldn't answer anyway. And as report claim, Arsenal are monitoring Bologna striker Joshua Zirkzee, although a summer deal is more likely for the 22-year-old. The Serie A side made it clear they have no desire to sell Zirkzee this winter, with sporting director Marco Di Vio labeling him unique in December. Having a good time in Italy, having 9 goals contributions. Is he one to look into at the end of the season? And what is happening with Jorginho? As report claim, Besiktas have made first contact to sign Jorginho from Arsenal after being recommended to the club by the player's entourage. Besiktas would see the move as a positive, but I don't see this happening in this January transfer window. Arsenal are still in Champions League and will be necessary to keep Jorginho because of his experience and squad depth, and we can see his importance with a superb assist to Martinelli against Crystal Palace, but Arsenal will be needing a midfielder if they plan to let him go this January. We have come to the end of our transfer updates. If you want more updates, you can join me my other account. The link is in the description. And if you really enjoy this video, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you are new, and also turn on the notification bell if you don't want to miss our next updates. Also click the like button. See you in the next video. Thank you.
Saga's corner controlled by Declan.